is Kathy Sorrow, and I'm going to lead you through a mixed level yoga practice that adds a bit of strength and moving through a slow vinyasa using a chair as a prop. Whether you might need practice with balance or bringing the floor a little bit closer to you, the chair provides a very stable prop. So let's get started. Come to a comfortable seat in your chair. Make sure your chair is on, all four legs are on the mat. Make sure your chair is sturdy. So go ahead and place your feet about hip distance apart on the floor. Your knees are bent. You're sitting back in your chair without leaning into the back of the chair, but your sit bones are all the way to the back. Your palms are facing down on your thighs. And go ahead and close your eyes. Start to focus on your breath. Breathing into your belly, underneath your ribs, and into the very tip top of your lungs. And exhale through the nose, relax. Inhale into your belly, underneath your rib cage, into the top of your lungs, and relax. On your next inhale, picture your vertebrae stacking one on top of the other as your inhale fills your abdomen and your chest. Inhale that breath all the way to the top of your head this time. And without losing any length in your spine, relax as you exhale. Taking those slow inhalations and exhalations, paying careful attention to matching their time. Continuing to stack the vertebrae while your spine grows nice and tall. On your next inhale, cultivate the idea of gratitude and appreciation for showing up on your mat today. Maybe this is trying something new, adding a chair as a prop. Maybe you're coming back from an injury. Maybe you're introducing a bit of movement that you haven't practiced before. Appreciation for learning something new, appreciation for yourself and your ability to show up for self-care. Inhale that love and appreciation, and exhaling any judgment or negative thinking. Inhale, maybe you've adopted a different intention for your practice today. Go ahead and inhale that. And exhale anything that does not serve you. And go ahead and flutter open your eyes. Take one more deep, rounded breath here. Inhale. Grow nice and tall. Arms rise. And exhale, arms come down, keeping that spine nice and tall. Inhale, reach, gazes to the sky, arms rise. Exhale, arms come down by your side, chest is lifted. Inhale, And this time, exhale your right fingertips toward the floor. Your left arm reaches up and over for a side bend. You're really rooting down in your left sit bones as you rainbow your left arm up and over, keeping that chest lifted, keeping that left shoulder open. If you feel like you need more stability here, your right hand can find the bottom of the chair and hold for balance and stability. Inhale, right arm rises. And exhale, left fingertips reach for the floor. Right sit bone is grounding into the chair, rainbowing your right arm up and over. Do that one more time on each side. Inhale, both arms rise. And exhale, left arm reaches up and over. Hey, buddy. Inhale, reach. And exhale, right arm reaches up and over. Careful attention to that right shoulder, continuing to be open. And exhale, come back to center. Let's take a few shoulder rolls here. Hi, buddy. And then reverse your direction. Preparing for a seated twist. Arms come into a T shape, palms facing forward. Take an inhale here and exhale, twist to the right. Your right fingertips are reaching toward the back of the room. Maybe your left arm is reaching forward. Maybe your left hand finds the outside of your right thigh to encourage that twist. Hugging that lower belly in, and really using every part of your spine to reach toward the back of the room. Maybe your gaze is off to the right, maybe it's to the back of the room. Inhale, come back to center, let that go. On your next inhale, lift your arms to shoulder height, palms facing forward. Exhale, twist to the left. Your sit bones are still grounding down into the chair. Maybe your right hand finds the outside of your left thigh. And give yourself a few breaths here, a moment to really encourage this twist. Maybe your left hand finds the back of the chair if it's hard to keep that left arm elevated. Whatever feels best to you. Inhale, back to center, let it go. Take a round of breath here. On your next inhale, hug your right knee into your chest and just take a few ankle rolls here. Moving in one direction and then the other. Extending your right leg long in front of you. Right foot is flexed. Hug that right knee in. Right foot is flexed. Extend the right leg long, pressing that heel away from you, pulling up on your kneecaps. One more time. Hug your right knee in and extend that right leg in front of you. Keeping lots of length in your spine. Lower that right foot. And breathe. On your next inhale, hug your left knee into your chest and exhale as you take a few ankle rolls here. Few in one direction and then the other. One more inhale, crown of the head grows tall. Exhale, extend the left leg. Inhale, hug that left knee in nice and tight. And exhale, extend. One more time. Inhale, hug the knee in. Exhale, extend. And lower that left knee. right knee off to the right, then your left knee off to the left. So you're in a goddess squat sitting on the chair. Place your hands on top of your thighs. Take an inhale here, lift the crown of the head, grow tall, and exhale, right shoulder dips toward the left knee. Inhale back to center. Exhale, left shoulder dips to right knee. Inhale, keep this up, and exhale as you dip. Hugging that lower belly in. Feeling that stretch in the shoulder, that stretch in the spine, the stretch in the inner thighs. Feeling that support of the chair. Being grateful for that support and maybe what it can represent in life. Being grateful for any type of support we have. One more time on each side. Come back to center. Bring your knees together, feet shoulder distance apart, and come to stand. Bringing your chair out in front of you with the seat facing towards you, making sure all four corners are on the mat and stable. Come to stand on the side of your chair. Bending into that left knee, grabbing the left ankle with your left hand, and then knees kissing. So you're sending your tailbone toward the floor. Your knees are parallel to each other. All the weight is in your right foot as you squeeze your glutes and send your tailbone toward the floor. Crown of the head grows tall, encouraging that stretch with your left hand. Maybe you even press your left foot into your left hand as your left hand draws your left heel towards your glute. Feeling that stretch. Ask yourself, where do you feel that stretch? Go ahead, gently release, shake it out. Walking to the other side of your chair. Left hand finds the chair for balance. Bending into that right knee. Right knee is reaching for the floor. You grab your right foot with your right ankle with your right hand. Knees are parallel towards each other. Tailbone is reaching down. Crown of the head grows tall, knitting in those ribs, hugging that lower belly in and up, and breathe for your quad stretch. You're pressing your right ankle, your right foot into your right hand as your right hand draws the heel toward your right glute. Give yourself a moment here. And release. Shake it out. Coming to the back of your chair, or the front of your chair actually, where the seat is facing you. Place your hands shoulder distance apart in the top of the chair. Making sure your feet are also hip distance apart. You're in a modified tabletop shape here. Preparing for a cat-cow, so starting to move our spine. Inhale, drop the chest, lift the tailbone, lift the crown of the head. And exhale, round the back. Hug your belly to your spine. Allow the crown of your head to reach for the floor. You're really pressing into the chair with the palm of your hand and all all 10 fingers, drawing your shoulder blades away from each other. Inhale, drop the chest, drop the belly, lift the gaze, lift the tailbone. And exhale, round. Keep this up at your own pace. Inhaling as you drop your belly, exhaling as you round. Hug that belly button nice and tight. Come back to center. Find a neutral spine, so your spine is nice and long, your neck is in line with the spine. So your left hand, pressing into that left hand, right arm sweeps high, feeling that gentle twist. Hips are in line with the mat. And exhale, thread the needle. Reach your right arm behind your left elbow. Inhale, reach. Right arm sweeps high. Exhale, shift that right arm underneath your left elbow. One more time. Inhale. And exhale, placing, as you thread the needle, place that right shoulder onto the chair. The right side of your head comes to the chair. Maybe you bend into your knees a little bit here. If there's not enough space, take a few rounds of breath here. And on your next inhale, right arm sweeps high, and exhale, come down. Maybe walk your hands forward a little bit on the chair if there wasn't much space for your shoulder. So inhale, this time left arm rises, and exhale, thread the needle on the opposite side. Inhale, lift, and exhale, reach. One more time. Inhale, lift and reach, feeling that twist. Exhale, left shoulder finds the top of the chair. Maybe you bend into your knees just a little bit. And breathe. On your next inhale, left arm sweeps high, and exhale, come down. Using the chair for support, come down onto your knees. If your knees are sensitive, you can double up on the mat or use a blanket, folding that mat underneath your knees. Now walk your knees back a bit, preparing for our puppy pose, and walk your hands forward. Maybe you grab on the outside of the chair. Maybe you press your hands into the seat of the chair. Take an inhale here, and exhale, allow the chest to melt toward the floor. Make sure your elbows are on the chair. Make sure your knees are beneath your hips. So if this feels good to you, and stretch in your chest, under your arms, stay here. Breathing in lots of space. Hi, baby. And exhaling to release. Maybe the palms of your hands touch, and bend into your elbows just to encourage that stretch in the thoracic spine, underneath your arms. Maybe your thumbs come to the back of your neck. Whatever feels best to you. Taking a few rounds of breath here. And on your next inhale, slowly come up onto your elbows. hands, walking your knees forward. Placing your hands flat in the middle of this chair. Walk your right foot forward, your left foot forward. Inhale into a halfway lift, so your body is in that modified tabletop. And exhale, fold. Maybe you continue, you hinge at the hips and allow the crown of your head to reach toward the floor. Maybe your fingertips touch the floor. Maybe your hands stay on the chair for support and balance. Maybe you need to bend into your knees so your chest drapes over your legs. Inhale to a halfway lift. Straighten your legs as best you can. Exhale, fold. This time, inhale, crown of the head rises, arms rise. And side bend to the right, just like we did in the chair. Inhale, reach. And exhale, side bend to the left. Inhale, both arms rise. Exhale, hands find the chair to a fold or to the floor. Inhale to a halfway lift, using your chair for support. This time, step back into a high plank pose. So your body is a straight line. You're pressing into the chair. The crown of the head is reaching to where the wall meets the ceiling. You're hugging every muscle to every bone. Make sure your shoulders are not crunched up underneath your ears. Make sure your shoulders are away from your ears. Take another inhale here. And exhale, press into the chair with your palm and all 10 finger pads. Send your sit bones toward the sky, your chest toward your thighs, finding a modified downward facing dog. And breathe. Maybe you bend into your right knee and then your left. Keeping this up. Walking your dog. Come up onto your toes and then sink your heels. On your next inhale, right leg rises behind you, three-legged dog. Exhale, bring your knee towards your nose, rounding that back, patting that spine. 2 more times. Inhale, lift that right leg as high as you can. And exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, lift, use your strength. Exhale, contract that knee toward the nose. And step that right foot to the outside of the right side of your chair. So you're in a modified low lunge. Lower onto that, actually, heel kind of shimmy that left foot back as far as you can. And lower that left knee, untuck the left toes. Low crescent lunge. Inhale, left arm sweeps high, feeling all that length in the front of the left side of the body. Take 1 more breath here. And exhale, bring that left hand down, straighten that right knee, lift the right toes, sit back for your half splits. Moving between those 2 shapes 2 more times. Inhale, bend into the right knee, left arm reaches up and back, low lunge. Exhale, straighten that right knee to a half splits. Maybe your hands find the floor, framing that right leg. Maybe they stay on the chair. Inhale, forward. And exhale. Half splits. Bending into that right knee, tuck onto the left toes, lift that left knee, step back into your plank. And breathe, use your strength. Maybe you'd like to add a chaturanga push-up, hug your elbows into your sides, and then press up, maybe not, plank is still the same kind of work. And send your hips high, downward facing dog. And breathe. Tapping into that gratitude and appreciation for our strong bodies. The connection of our breath. On your next inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, bend into the knee, draw it toward the nose, round the back, use your core. Extend that left leg long, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale one more time to this three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Step the left foot to the outside of the chair, finding that modified low lunge. And then just shimmy those right toes back as far as you can. Make sure that your left knee is right on top of your left ankle. And lower that left knee, untuck the toes. On your next inhale, right arm sweeps up and back. Feeling that length in the front of the right side of the body. And exhale, straighten that left knee, lift the left toes and fold over the left leg. Hands can come to the floor or they can stay in the chair. Taking these two shapes two more times. Inhale, forward. Left arm sweeps high. Feeling those hips sink a little bit closer to the floor. Exhale to your half splits. Inhale forward in your low lunge with a reach. And exhale, half splits. Inhale, bend into that left knee, tuck onto the right toes, lift that right knee. Step your right foot beneath your right hip, your left foot beneath your left hip, and fold. Maybe you heel toe your feet out just a little bit and grab opposite elbows if you have that in your balance. And just notice in this forward fold, maybe your knees are a little more straight than they were in the first forward fold. Maybe you take a little sway side to side, really letting that upper body go, softening your brow, maybe even adopting a little smile. On your next inhale, hands find the chair, find a halfway lift. Left hand comes beneath the face, right arm sweeps high, finding that twist, maybe even bending into that left knee. Really reaching those fingertips for the sky. Exhale, right hand comes beneath the face, bend the right knee, left arm sweeps high. Opening up across the collarbones. Exhale to your forward fold. Inhale, arms rise. And exhale, hands to heart center. And heel toe your feet so they're at hip distance apart, right underneath of you. Take a moment to tap into that intention for your practice. Maybe really appreciating what you have in your practice, finding gratitude for support. And go ahead and open your eyes, arms rise. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to a halfway lift. Step your right foot all the way to the back, actually. Yes, step your right foot all the way to the back of the mat. Go ahead and see if you can walk your front foot a little more forward or shimmy your back toes a little bit further back. So you're in a low lunge shape here. You're really feeling that long line of energy from your right heel all the way to the crown of the head. Neck is in line with the spine, hugging your belly in and up, hugging your inner thighs together for balance. Hands are using the chair for support. Maybe you can experiment, maybe you can bring your hands to the floor here if it feels comfortable. So take an inhale here, exhale, sink just a little closer to the mat. Sink your hips just a little closer to the mat. And then exhale, straighten that left knee and fold over the left leg to a pyramid. Again, maybe your hands find the mat. Inhale, left knee bends. Find that low lunge. Maybe sink just a little more deeply. That right leg is straight as you can make it. And exhale to the pyramid shape. Send your hips high. Left leg is as straight as possible. Maybe it's not completely straight. Inhale, left knee bends, hips sink. And exhale, fold over that left leg as it straightens. Inhale, low lunge. Step back to plank pose. Maybe you'd like to add a push-up here, maybe not. Downward facing dog. Send your sit bones toward the sky. And breathe. Walk forward, find your forward fold. This time, try to bring your fingertips to the floor, even if you have to bend your knees. Just give it a try. Maybe even you take your first and second finger around your big toes, bending into your elbows to encourage that length in the back body. Maybe straighten your knees just a little bit more. Pull up on your kneecaps and see if that creates more space. Inhale, hands to chair to a halfway lift. And exhale, left foot steps all the way to the back of the mat. Maybe you heel toe your right foot a little wider to give yourself a little more stability, a little more foundation. Inhale here, really shifting back into that left heel as the crown of the head reaches forward. Sinking your hips. Give yourself a moment. Preparing for pyramid. Straighten into that right knee and fold over that right leg. Inhale, shift forward, low lunge. And exhale to your pyramid. Inhale, forward. Exhale, pyramid. One last time. Maybe you try to get your hands to the floor. Inhale to that low lunge. Step back into plank pose. Maybe add your push-up, adding strength, maybe not. Take an inhale here. Make sure your body is in a straight line. Exhale, downward facing dog. And breathe. Maybe come up onto the toes. Bend into the knees. And then sink the heels, straighten the legs. Chest really softens towards the thighs. exhale, fold. Hands are directly beneath, you're in a halfway lift and hands are directly beneath your shoulders. Take your left foot just wide of the mat and then your right foot just wide of the mat. So you're in, your feet are about 3 feet apart, 3 to 4 feet apart. Taking a cat-cow in a wide leg stance. So inhale, drop your belly, lift your tailbone, lift your gaze, and then exhale, round. Pressing the mat away from you, hugging your belly into your spine. Inhale to a cow tilt, and exhale, round. One more time. Inhale, cow tilt, and exhale, round. Find a forward fold. Maybe your arms come out in front of you, using the chair for support, letting your forehead rest on the mat, on the chair, or maybe your hands find the floor in your wide leg forward fold. If your arms are on the mat, maybe your forehead is resting on the mat. Maybe you take your right arm and find your right ankle or your right calf. And just release into that. Or maybe your hands are directly beneath your shoulders and your forehead is giving you a little bit of support on that chair. Shift a little more into the balls of your feet and just notice how that changes the stretch. Bring your right hand to your right hip, your left hand to your left hip, hugging that lower belly in, using the crown of your head to draw you to a wide leg stand. Take your toes, or bring your heels in, and bend into your knees. Maybe you would like to have the chair beneath you for support. You're in a goddess squat. You can sit down into that chair, or you can just hover above the chair. Your knees are wide. Your feet are about at a 45-degree angle. Your tailbone is reaching toward the floor. Your chest is lifted and your abdomen is knitted in. You're pulling up on your lower belly. Take an inhale here. Arms reach to where the wall meets the ceiling. Straighten your knees to a star shape. Exhale, cactus the arms. Either sit down into your chair or hover to a goddess. Inhale, star. Exhale, goddess. Keep this up, using your strength. Inhale as you reach. Exhale as you squat. One more time in each direction. Sit down in your chair. Take those shoulder dips here. So knees are nice and wide. You're sitting in your chair. Inhale, or maybe you're hovering. Whatever feels best to you. Maybe you need to hold back a little bit. Maybe you need to press forward. Shoulder dip, right shoulder to the left knee. Inhale back to center. Exhale, left shoulder to right knee. Inhale back to center. One more time on each side. floor in front of you. Come to stand. If you shifted your chair, shift it back to where you're standing behind the seat of the chair. On your next inhale, arms rise. Place all the weight into your left foot. You're hugging your left glute in. You're pulling up on your lower belly. Your tailbone is reaching for the floor. Arms are really lifting you out of your hips. And lift that right knee. Place the right foot onto your chair. Preparing for a standing twist. Arms come out into a T shape. Take an inhale here and exhale. Left hand finds the outside of the right thigh. Right arm reaches back. And breathe. Maybe your right hand needs to find your right hip. Opening up across the collarbones. Your left hand is encouraging that stretch. You're pressing into the standing leg. Hugging both of your inner thighs together for balance. Inhale, release, arms rise. Lift that right knee. Maybe you need to help it along. And exhale, extend that right leg back behind you. Hands find the chair to a modified warrior 3. Maybe your hands find the chair. Your hips are square to the mat. Your right toes are facing the mat. You're lifting your right leg as high as possible. And lower that right foot, that right leg, come to stand. Shake it out. On your next inhale, arms rise. Exhale to mountain. Fingertips reaching for the floor, palms facing forward. Your knees are stacked over your ankles. Your feet are hip distance apart. Your hips are stacked over your knees. Your tailbone lengthens toward the floor. It's reaching for the floor. Your shoulders are above your hips, and your head is floating on top of your spine. Pressing most of the weight into the right foot. Inhale, arms rise. Lift your left knee, step onto the chair. Preparing for that twist on the opposite side. Right hand finds the outside of the left thigh. Left arm reaches back. Gazes to the left, or maybe gazes behind you. Hugging both inner thighs together. Give yourself a moment, breathing into any areas that feel tense. Using your strength, using your balance. Inhale, arms reach. And exhale, extend that left leg long behind you. Maybe your forearms find the back of the chair. Your hips are square to the mat. Your right leg is straight. Your left leg is straight. Your left foot is flexed. Finding that long line of energy between your left heel and your fingertips or the crown of your head if your hands find the chair. Hold that here and take one more breath. And lower that left foot, finding a forward fold. Hands using the chair, maybe fingertips find the floor, maybe your forehead is on the chair. One more round of breath here, soften in the face. Inhale, Inhale to a halfway lift. And exhale to forward fold. Inhale to a halfway lift. Come onto your knees and come to sit in front of your chair. Knees are bent, feet are hip distance apart. I need to sit on a block because I'm not very tall. So maybe you have a block or a book. You want the back of the chair to sit in the middle of your back, somewhere right about here, right at your shoulder blades. So go ahead and grab the legs of the chair, allow your elbows to bend to that, just slightly to the outside of the chair, or take your hands and interlace your fingers behind your neck and just start to roll your shoulders to roll on top of the chair, lifting your heart, lifting your gaze. Your elbows are wide. You're finding a little back bend here. Maybe this feels like plenty. Your gaze is towards the ceiling. Again, you're opening up across the chest, underneath the arms a little bit. If this feels good, once again, stay here. Or maybe you reach your arms up over the back of the chair and allow your head to rest on the chair. Maybe you grab the outside of the chair. Whatever feels best to you. Maybe you interlace your hands and take that clasp and reach it away from you. Maybe you reach your hands underneath the back of the chair and clasp your hands. We'll stay here for a few breaths. One more round of breath here. And release. Clasping, wherever you are, clasping your hands behind your head, slowly with control, come out of that back bend. If you're sitting on a block or a book, remove that and place the palms of your hands on the mat, your fingertips facing towards your heels. Your feet are still hip distance apart. Your hands are directly beneath your shoulders. On your next inhale, lift your hips. Your tailbone is reaching towards your knees. We're in a reverse tabletop here. Feeling all that length in your front body. Maybe your chin stays nice and close to your chest, or maybe you allow the back of your head to rest on the chair, lifting your hips. Exhale, lower your hips back to the floor. Arms reaching forward, palms facing each other. Hug your lower belly in. Your heart center is reaching for the sky. Your shoulders are plugged into your back. And then shift back just slightly. This is a modified boat pose for your core. Maybe you lift one foot, shin parallel to the mat. Maybe you lift both. Or maybe you keep your feet firmly planted, whatever feels best to you. Place your hands down by your shoulder. Lift your hips. Knees are not splaying out. Reverse tabletop. We'll move between these two shapes a few more times. Take an inhale here. Press that mat away from you. Lift your hips, squeeze your glutes. And lower, finding your boat pose. One more time between these two shapes. Don't forget to breathe. Place your hands down, reverse tabletop. And exhale to your boat. Maybe this last boat, challenge yourself. Lifting one leg, the other, both. Hug your knees into your chest. Grabbing opposite elbows. Forehead finds the knees. And then draw your shoulder blades away from each other. And just notice all that length in your back body. And breathe into the back of your lungs. One more round of breath here. And shifting over onto one hip or the other using your chair. Let's see. Come onto your feet. And working our core just a little bit more, come to seat, open up into that goddess shape. Maybe you stay seated on the chair or maybe you hover. Remember, knees are open wide, tailbone is reaching toward the floor. Hands behind the head. You don't have to interlace your hands, your elbows are nice and wide. Breathe here. Inhale, sink as low as you can go using your strength. And exhale, right elbow to right knee. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, left elbow to left knee. And challenge yourself. And maybe you come to sit when you get tired. And then maybe when you come to center, you hover. Or maybe you stay seated. Or maybe you hover. Whatever feels right to you, keep that up. A few more times on each side. And come to sit. Bring your knees together in front of you. And come up, bring your sit bones more toward the front edge of your chair and extend your legs long in front of you. We'll take a modified Dandasana, forward fold. Inhale, arms rise. And exhale, just walk down your legs for a gentle forward fold. You hinge at the hips. Draw your chest forward with a flat back, and then go ahead and roll, walk down your legs. And breathe. Find softness as you exhale. Inhale, walk your hands back to seated. Sit back in the chair. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Your right foot is flexed. Inhale here. And exhale, hinge forward at the hips. Just as far as you feel a tug in this right hip. Breathe. Maybe encourage that stretch by pushing inside of the right thigh down. Maybe if that feels enough, stay there. Maybe you would like to sit up tall, lift your right leg in front of you and draw your right shin or calf, your right lower leg towards your chest. Whatever feels right for you, make it happen. Inhale, grow tall. Cross your right knee over your left, stacking your knees as best you can. Inhale, right arm sweeps high. Exhale, the palm of your hand comes to your mid back. Your left palm grabs your right hand, your left hand grabs your right elbow. Chest is lifted, crown of the head is lifted into a tricep stretch. Squeezing your inner thighs together, hugging your knees nice and tight. One more breath in. And exhale, release. Your left hand finds your outer right thigh, and your right arm reaches back, finding that twist. Maybe you use the back of the chair to encourage that stretch. And breathe. One more round of breath, crown of the head, spine grows tall, and exhale, twist just a little more deeply. Inhale, back to center. Open your knees nice and wide to that goddess. And let's take those shoulder dips to the left and to the right. One more time on each side. Bring your knees back together, crossing that left ankle over the right thigh. Inhale, crown of the head lifts, spine grows nice and tall. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Maybe this feels like enough. Maybe you'd like to press into your inner left thigh with your left hand, encouraging that stretch more. Breathing into any sensitivities and relaxing as you breathe out. Or maybe you sit nice and tall, crown of the head reaching for the ceiling, and you lift that left leg towards your chest. Draw it nice and close, but don't round your back. Keep sitting nice and tall. Whatever feels best to you, do that now. Seated, cross that left knee over the right, stacking your knees and hugging your legs together nice and tight. Left arm sweeps high, preparing for that tricep stretch. So bend into that elbow as you exhale. The palm of the left hand finds your middle back or your neck. Right hand grabs your left elbow. Crown of the head is reaching for the sky, chest stays open, and breathe. Maybe feeling a little bit more sense of peace and ease after all your hard work. Appreciating our strong bodies and minds. Being able to show up and complete our practice today. deeply and exhaling fully. Release your arms. Take your right hand to the outside of your left thigh. Left arm reaches back behind you. Spine stays nice and tall. With each inhalation, you grow even taller. And as you, with each exhale, you twist more deeply, really using your spine, maybe even using this right hand to embellish that stretch and encourage that opening. A healthy spine means a healthy body, a healthy, supple spine. Gaze is off to the left. Maybe it's toward the back of the room, but don't allow yourself to collapse into your spine. Keep that nice length. Inhale, release that, come back to center. Let's take a few neck rolls. So allow your chin to fall towards your chest. Shoulders and shoulder blades are back and down nice and flat to your mat. You're rooting down into your sit bones. Take your right ear towards your right shoulder. And draw your chin towards your chest. Left ear to left shoulder. Right shoulder is drawing down. And chin to chest. Let's move between those two sides, pausing in any like sweet spot where you might need a little attention. Keep up these half circles, chin to chest, ear to shoulder. Make sure you're not allowing those shoulders to bounce up towards the ear, always reaching the ear toward the shoulder. And when you come back to your right side, stay there, right ear to right shoulder, taking your right hand to the outside of the left side of your left ear, and just allow that weight of your right hand to encourage your stretch. Maybe even take your left fingertips, palms facing forward toward the floor. Breathing into that tension if there is any, and exhaling to relax. Release that stretch. Come to center. And left ear to left shoulder. Right fingertips are reaching for the floor, right palm is facing forward. And take that left hand to the outside of the right ear. And just breathe. Go ahead and release, and just turn your head from side to side, nodding no and yes. Hug your right knee to your chest nice and tight, and then release. Left knee into your chest nice and tight, and release. Maybe preparing for our final resting pose, Shavasana, in the chair. Maybe you heel toe your feet a little wider than shoulder distance, and maybe you walk your feet out maybe a few inches, and then sit back into your chair. Palms facing up for receiving all that is new and vibrant, all that appreciation and gratitude for our strong bodies and cultivating this energy. Or maybe your palms are facing down for grounding. Go ahead and close down your eyes. And just know there is nowhere to go and nothing to do, but relax and breathe. Start to bring a bit of movement back to your fingers and your toes. Keeping your eyes closed, see if you can shift back into a seat where your spine is growing tall, your feet are hip distance apart, your shoulders are directly above your hips. Again, keeping your eyes closed, inhale, draw your arms up overhead, gathering up all that gratitude, appreciation, and new vibrant energy. Palms together above your head, eyes closed, draw your thumbs towards your heart center, exhaling anything negative, any judgment, anything that does not serve you. One more inhale, arms above your head, gathering all that is good and new. And palms together, thumbs to your heart center, letting go of anything we don't need, anything old, anything stagnant, let it go. Chins bowed. Thank you so much for sharing in this practice with me. It is truly an honor to guide you. Thumbs to the center of your forehead, and take a small bow.